Dear viewers, I wish you a great and happy day. I was overwhelmed as I stood in front of an amazing cave. The Extremadura limestone massif encompasses the Portuguese central region between Rio Maior, Alcobaça, Porto de Mós, Batalha, Leiria, Aurum, Torres Novas, and Alcanina. 18 degrees Celsius is a constant temperature in the cave, and humidity is high. More water will drip into the cave if it's raining outside. I have brought a coat with me, but it is not really necessary. The most important mountains here are the Aire and Canderos. This region is notable for its lack of rivers, as rainwater sips almost entirely through the cracks in the rocks rather than flowing down the slopes to form rivers. Unlike other rocks, limestone is dissolved by water, sculpting strange formations such as small sinks and pots, ridges, and high pedestals. Scientists studying them refer to these as limestone pavement, and they are classified based on their origin, shape, and dimensions. These depressions are referred to in the area as covos, and the soil is called felgar. Scientists refer to these soil depressions, which are typical of all Mediterranean limestone regions, as sinkholes and terra rossa. I was astounded to learn that, in contrast to limestone pavements, which are made of bare rock that only goats dare to cross, sinkholes are the uncommon places where agriculture is feasible. Corn, potatoes, and other species with low water requirements are the favored cultures. But with a little creativity and work, people here managed to plant thousands of olive trees everywhere they could, using even the tiniest patches of soil. In areas with limited soil, it was a must to excavate and install rocks that served as walls, a feature common to limestone regions. My appreciation for the surrounding natural marvels was enhanced by my understanding of how the pit cave was formed. As limestones are primarily calcium carbonates, water dissolved the fissures in the rocks, transforming them into large corridors or natural wells known as pit caves. Water absorbs large amounts of carbon dioxide as it condenses in the atmosphere and falls back to Earth as rainwater in its never-ending cycle. Speaking of the cave's past, it was in 1947 that some residents of Mira de Aire entered here and thus discovered one of these pit caves on the site known as Moinhos Velhos. The first men to enter it did so, throwing heavy ropes and daringly descending to the small gallery below without any gear. They moved forward a few dozen meters and came to rest on an open window overlooking a void. The dim gas lantern could not adequately show them what lay ahead. Their voices and the sound of the rocks they threw inside reverberated like they were in a large, completely dark room. They came back a few days later, armed with additional ropes. They made their way down to the first room, whose size was so great that they could hardly see the ceiling and walls. When word of this extraordinary discovery reached Lisbon, speleologists there began organizing the formation of the first scientific society dedicated to the study of caves. Following their arrival, Mira de Aire got to know these speleologists. Thousands of people had the opportunity to explore the recently discovered cave, and images from the trips were shared all over the globe. Finding the key to the remainder of the cave required investigating the rear of the room and a few wall corners. Eventually, a small opening in the side known as the pulpit was found. It was accessible via a short, slick slope. This second pit, which is 20 meters deep, is located at the top of an extremely steep slope. Following that, in 1949, the building of a wooden winch that untangles a 30-meter-long sisal rope allowed the speleologists to descend the pit. There were more rope ladder experiments after that, using brass steps at first and steel cables and wooden steps at the beginning. At the bottom of the pit a gallery with more than 500 meters unraveled, known as the Great Gallery, had a varied topography and landscape. In this gallery one can watch the Fountain of Pearls, the Octopus Gallery, the Organ and the Black River, which lead to the beach at the end of the Great Gallery. In the 1950s and 1960s long-term battles required the construction of campsites within the cave. These allowed access to the sand siphon, shell, and labyrinth until the final pit was found after the cave's original topography was determined. When the desire to share this natural wonder with others grew, 100 meters of wooden walkways and stairs were planned and built from the sand siphon's entrance. During the 1970s the society that runs the cave was founded with the goal of improving the conditions for the visitors' comfort and safety. They started by transforming the cave into a show cave, complete with the main room and the main portions of the Great Gallery. August 11, 1974 is the day of the public opening. In the year 2017 by entering the Black River's gallery during low tide, an expedition headed by the Portuguese Speleological Society was able to construct more than a kilometer of new galleries that descend beneath the Mamede Plateau. Together with the caves of Pena and Contenda, this cave, Moinhos Velhos, is a part of an extensive network of galleries spanning more than 11 kilometers. The Alho de Mira and Riga-Tinho springs, as well as the waters of this system, combine to form the Great Closed Depression known as Palj Mira Mind, which lies between the villages of Mira da Aire and Mind. This depression is flooded during rainy winters. It took about an hour for the tour. Thanks to my comfortable shoes, I was able to walk 600 meters through the cave and descend 683 steps during the tour. The cave's largest staircase had 105 steps. The lift takes you out approximately 300 meters from the cave's entrance. Security rails were erected all the way around the cave to keep visitors and the cave safe. The railings present a risk of injury, so avoid crossing them. It is best not to touch the cave's walls or formations in particular, as this could hinder their continued development. If you are coming in groups 20 adults or more you will have discounts. Bookings and confirmations for both school groups and these groups must be made at least 1 week prior to the tour date. Press the link given in the description for more details of the ticket. Once you experience these incredible moments, coming here will never let you down.